tales of
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I talk about Mesquite butt.
Yeah, this it drives us nuts.
I didn't say Mesquite nuts. I said Mesquite butts.
But it is a mesquite butt, though.
Yes.
It's a spicy ass right on the cover of this comic with an incredibly CG looking Wolverine logo.
It does look a little like blurry, like
weird.
I have like a photo editing app on my phone, and like every once in a while I'll save something and it'll be like, if to fix blurry text, blah 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 blah. And like somebody didn't do that here. Like it feels like somebody slapped this on in like a cheap version of Photoshop or something. But yeah, we're back. It's Wolverine number 64. We're still trying to get Mystique. Wolverine has been on the trail to kill Mystique after she betrayed the X-Men by turning the last hope of mutant species over to Mr. Sinister, and this is Wolverine number 64, which is just centered Mystique's very voluptuous ass on the center page. So fun stuff right there, everybody.
Yeah. This is one of those issues, this one and the next one, where it gets a little confusing as to how much Mystique's clothes are her skin.
Yeah.
Because at one point they fight and she gets more naked.
Yeah.
During it. Yeah.
I feel like that's just a distraction. Like she's just doing that for I guess just for us, Gary. I guess we're just the readers that are into it. That's just the
distract Wolverine, but it's not going to work.
No,
you know,
not.
No.
We start out in 1921. This is the timeline where Wolverine has first met Mystique, and she's recruited him into her gang of petty thievery in Kansas City. And she now wants to scale up by robbing the Federal Reserve Bank. We get a lot of cool noir-y kind of shots. I love her demon eyes and with the black hair and the inking and everything. It looks very cool.
She's like a flapper.
Yeah. They almost get caught by a cop, and she shoves him against the wall and starts making out because apparently two white people can't be on the street after dark. I don't know what the situation is here.
Yeah. And the cop's like, take it inside. Stop making out in the street. But yeah, I was surprised too that they were not allowed here. Wolverine is skeptical, of this job. It's the National Reserve, and Mystique calls him out. Like, are you scared of the job, or are you scared we might actually pull it off, or are you scared about settling down? And he goes, the hell with it. Let's just do it. If it blows up in your face, don't blame me. We'll do it. There's going to be complications to this. We're going to find out. We do another one of those very, very short time skip things here. This would have been a fine opening of the episode, of the issue, but we cut to all of what is his name? Mordad's men. Looking at Wolverine in a car, and they're just like, "This is ridiculous. Why are we doing this?" And they're like, "Shut up! We can't kill this man. He's invincible. We just have to hope that this is the last we see of him." And we cut over to Wolverine talking about doing his healing factor whinging that he likes to do. I feel all the pain. Like at some point the people around Wolverine has to get sick of hearing this.
That's why he just thinks it, right? Like he just thinks this a lot. Like I wonder if like Cyclops is like, he just sits down in a car somewhere and is like, my goddamn eyes, my goddamn concussive beam filled eyes.
Like he just has the presence of mind not to tell everyone around it.
Right.
I imagine Emma Frost just like scanning the X-Men's room.
Yeah.
And just everything's normal. And then just Wolverine's monologuing about how much it hurts to have a healing factor. And she's like, God damn it.
Not
you tedious little man.
I'm gonna turn you back into a little girl doll like I did in Astonishing X-Men. He's talking about how, because the freedom fighters, aka the terrorists, which we're going to go back and forth with here in a bit, are saying like Logan feels no pain, he shows no mercy, he cannot be stopped. And then he's immediately saying like, people think that this doesn't hurt, but this hurts every fucking time. Like, and it's revealed that this vehicle is filled with C4 and he's going to blow himself up, which he does. And we get the classic "Get Mystique!" exclamation mark at the bottom
over the big explosion.
Yeah,
pretty fun.
And then we jump to the day before. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. For just a tiny little setup scene, again a little sloppy. This is him meeting with Mordad. They have a history there, and he's calling in a favor. He's basically saying, "I want you guys to help me blow up, so I appear dead, so I can get into this military base." And they're like, "Okay, we'll do it." They blow him up. They carry his body bag into the American embassy here. And they're just like, it's a suicide bomber, needs to be identified.
Yep.
And they bring in the body bag. That's how he gets past all of the military.
And they take him to the morgue, which he of course rips out of, and it looks like a cool zombie dude because all of his skin is blown off. So this probably has to hurt. And he is not done healing as he confronts Mystique, still shapeshifted into this random U.S. senator. It shows Mystique coming out of the bathroom, zipping up in the fly, like she just just so many questions about shapeshifters.
Yeah.
Like I just
is that her skin? Is when she is shapeshifted into a man, does she pee standing up?
Yeah.
Is that kind of cool? There are a lot of questions.
I mean, like if you could just change your gender at any moment or change into any gender at any moment, like
yes.
I would imagine like the experience of being those different genders has to be like relatively interesting and like, okay, like, I don't know, man, like this week I'm wearing long sleeve shirts, like next week gonna have a dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, not to make light of real people with any kind of
absolutely
gender
not.
dysphoria.
No,
like you can change your gender. Like we know this. We're not saying that. But in a fantasy Mystique way, where she just does it like instantly. Like if it were me, I would want to sit down to pee. I don't like standing up to pee. I think sitting down to pee would be more fun.
Here, you can just sit down to pee. There's nobody stopping you.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I know, but I'm just saying I would if I had Mystique powers, I would make it
why is Liz putting thumbtacks on the seat for you, my man? What's going on?
No. I would aim myself using Mystique powers. It'd be a lot easier.
You would shapeshift your dong into a water hose and just lay it onto the rim.
like a downward facing hose, or I would shapeshift my dong out of my palm and then maybe like pee into the sink. Sometimes if I was in a hurry.
Just fascinating questions about like, are you shapeshifting your internals? Like, where does your liver go?
Yeah.
All kinds
it's
of
incredible
good questions.
Stuff.
Yeah.
We know that she has internal organs because she talks about shifting them around so they don't get shot and stuff. Like Mystique's amazing. I want to get Mystique at this point. Just ask her some questions.
I want to sit her down. Mystique, so when you started Demon Souls in 2009, let me ask you.
Examine Mystique. Like autopsy Mystique.
There's
is the next arc.
The also weird thing about this is like Wolverine shows up, like shredded clothing, half healed skin, and like Mystique says like, "How did you get in here?" And Wolverine's like, "Oh, I just snuck in because I know a lot of ninjas." And then he says, "Right, Mystique," and like the art is like this dude going like, "Oh, you caught me," and I'm like, "Of course he caught you. He's like, what do you like? He's Wolverine. You're staring at him like he knows who you are." And then there's this like tension in this because at any point she can call like the Marines, and then he would have to murder some innocent Marines. Which of course is not like every dude has a code, bud, and that's not really what he wants to do. So I
really also like that he's like, I learned some tricks from some ninjas.
Yeah, and
his trick was to suicide car bomb himself to pretend to be dead and wake up in a morgue.
Yeah,
that's not very ninja.
I don't know. How do you know, Gary?
Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like something
you didn't watch Daredevil season 2. You don't know what ninjas do.
Well, that's why I didn't watch Daredevil season 2. So I guess you got me there. Wolverine's trying to psych her out. Just like, oh, you're just hiding behind these innocent people. It's pathetic. The Mystique I know would never do this. She's an awful person, but she's not a coward. And she's like, is this your X-Men training trying to goad me? He's like, yeah, is it working? And she goes, not a bit, while she picks up a chair to fight. Nice little bit.
I love his list of things that she is, because he calls her a thief, assassin, backstabber, betrayer. Piss poor mother is the one that I like out of this whole thing. Just a very like, and I know you way too well, and absolutely true.
Yeah, I'm friends with your son.
Like, I'm and your like adopted daughter. Like I know that chick as well. Like,
and they're both fucked up. Like, you're not doing good work here. And we get a one panel multi-stage fight here.
Yeah,
between the two of them. It's really great. And then cuts in the next page. Like the action choreography in this is good.
Really good.
This book, a lot of real brutality. I love Mystique stabbing the chair leg through his hand.
Yeah.
On the table, like really good. Even though the anatomy of the hand in that drawing is a little bit fucked up. It could just be the claws.
Hands are hard. Weird. Hands are hard. But eventually she manages to get away and then gets the Marines after him. So now he's forced to like get shot a bunch as Mystique is able to get away. Where we have this just like weird. I don't even know how to describe this moment where there's like two soldiers, one of them looking at like a centerfold kind of magazine playpen, and like Miss December is looking really hot, and then she like turns into Miss December, bikini included. So like. Again, the clothing question is huge on this, and then steals their truck.
They're not super weird. Like this definitely distracts them enough to where they're like, "Whoa!" and that's just meant to be a distraction. It would be hard to believe if they were just like, oh yeah, like, I manifested an image, I weird scienced this Playboy model, but she just beats them up and takes their car. That's all she does. It's kind of fun. Wolverine beat up the soldiers, didn't kill them, and runs after her.
Yes.
Nothing
for her to do now but to die. He's hot on her tail. We switch back to the 1920s where she is shapeshifted into the president of the Federal Reserve, which I didn't know the Federal Reserve would have a president. That seems weird because we have a president, but whatever, who cares?
Mr. Butterworth.
Mr. Butterworth
is his name.
Of the Kansas City Butterworths. Are you serious?
Yes.
They're also going to try to break into the vault, obviously, while Wolverine and other guy wait outside. Mystique comes out and is like, "Hey, I stole all these watches. Here, you can have them." And that's when everything kind of goes wrong with this heist, as the six-fingered guy manages to open up the vault. It turns out there's a lot of coppers in that vault.
Yep. They say not so fast to him. We cut back to the presents for a moment. This is the weird thing where Mystique appears to be putting on her clothes with her hands. In this,
I don't know what's going on with this scene at all.
Yeah, it's real weird. She's just like, "How dare Wolverine talk to me like that? I'm going to fight him, one-on-one like he wants," as she kind of rubbing her body and putting the white bodysuit on it.
And then in the next page, she's clearly not wearing the white bodysuit.
Yeah, she's just nude, and she's taking it off. It's hard to see.
So I had a moment here because in the next issue, we're going to see that she has somehow found some white paint and written on the side of the truck, like, "Come for me, Wolverine." And I was like,
oh yeah,
did she take her flesh suit off and turn it into paint?
And put it into paint? I didn't even think of that.
And then I was like, Jeremy, you're a fucking idiot. Like, it's just a Wolverine comic. Just roll past, bro. What are you doing?
Pull up.
What are you doing, man? You're too deep. You're way, way too deep on this.
Yeah. And then she's standing there with very, very nasty guns.
Yes.
Come and get me, lover. Like, this is the final confrontation.
Big guns, naked chick. This is what I like. Hoorah.
Yeah. This is America.
Yes.
We're doing it. She has a big truck full of rocket launchers that she took, and this is going to be the end of this issue, the penultimate, right before the climax of Get Mystique. Does he get Mystique? Find out.
It's a good
next
question.
week.
Find out next week. Yeah. In the meantime, if you want to support the show, you should go to all of your friends' houses and download it on their phones. That's the first thing you do.
Man.
And then you get them all to go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and get them to support the network. And then you can do it after you're done with all of your friends. If you only have two friends, that's fine. That's cool. Don't worry about it. Nobody's going to make fun of you. Yeah, sign them up. That's two friends.
You don't have to convince them. Just do it.
Just sign them up.
Go into their... Yeah, wait for them to take a big juicy shit.
And
then go on their computer. They probably have their password saved.
Yep.
Who doesn't? And then just sign them up.
Here's the thing. If there's some sort of facial recognition software, just grab the picture off the desk and hold it up to the camera. Works every time.
There are a lot of options. Do you want to be somebody who listens to a podcast about the X-Men, or do you want to do X-Men shit, like industrial espionage, signing up your friends for Patreons?
Yeah. Do you want to be Cyclops, or do you want to be on X-Force?
Yeah.
Which one is it going to be, buddy?
Come on. Hey, listen, listener, grow up. It's
time to do or die, friend. We got to get you.
You're not a
this.
baby, are you? Yeah, get in.
Take your weird flesh suit off. Get some guns.
Yeah.
And tell people about Days of Future Cast.
Turn your skin into paint and make them listen to the show. We appreciate you for doing so. Ratings, reviews help. Telling your friends help. Patreon helps. Joining us at Duckstream helps. Listening to all of our other shows helps. Listening to Jeremy's shows helps. You just launched a show.
We did.
In the chronology.
We
of this. What is it called?
It's called Non-Human Biologics.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you remember, like, all of the weird alien stuff that happened like a couple months ago before the world exploded.
Yes.
Me and Chris were like in our. Like we were talking about like 5 different shows that we wanted to cover, right? And then all of a sudden this alien stuff started happening on national television, and the people started talking about non-human biologics, and I was like, well, that means we got to do X-Files. That's exactly what X-Files is about. So go to probably nonhumanbiologics.com. I don't actually have that registered yet. That's next week work for Jeremy. But I'm sure if you search non-human biologics podcast on various podcasting services, you can find that. It's a podcast about the X-Files. We're covering it episode by episode. We're just going to take us like 5 years to do. So please join us and tell us how much you like it. So we'll be there for a while.
You got a long time before the Daggett years.
Oh, I know, man. We actually started the first episode with the caveat of like, we may not finish this. Like we may just not bother. We have finished everything we've started this far, but like there's 11 seasons of this and some of them are bad.
And like the seasons themselves, like I don't think any individual season is bad. There are some episodes that are like having your teeth fucking pulled. You're going to get to like space. It is one of the worst episodes of TV I've ever seen. 3, real bad. It's going to be great.
Did you know,
also,
because
you want to poison your brain.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, poison your brain. I like referring to them as Maldo and Scalder.
Okay.
So it's hard to stop doing that once you start doing it.
They have
just want to slip into the podcast.
They have the most generic ship name. Because they were like around before, not really before shipping, because shipping has been around forever. But like before, like anybody had clever names like Destiel or anything. So they're just referred to as MSR, which refers to the Mulder-Scully relationship, which I find very boring.
It started as an insurance subtype,
right,
and ended as a ship.
The other thing I was going to say is in relation to something that you guys do, the Breaking Bad podcast. Best Quality Vacuum, that the reason, not the reason, but like Vince Gilligan and Bryan Cranston met on Vince Gilligan's episode of the X-Files that he did with Bryan Cranston. So kind of a neat little thing. Like without that episode, that probably wouldn't have Breaking Bad in the future, or not the Breaking Bad that we know and love. So
yeah, the watching X-Files, I've just been watching for Vince Gilligan's name to pop up and listening to the podcast about Breaking Bad. I'm constantly hearing references like directors or writers he's pulled and stuff. It's been real fun to see that. And like, you're in for a good time for the most part. Like when X-Files is good, it's great.
Yeah.
Like it's very good. So yeah, that's great. Love that.
So yeah, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and go look for Non-Human Biologics on Apple Podcast, and then come back here next week for more Wolverine.